Labour inspectors are today conducting an inspection at the eThekwini Education Department offices. It follows claims of harsh conditions there, which include dilapidated buildings with no electricity and water. Let's go to our reporter Nqobile Madlala, who's covering this story for us, and she joins us now live from there. Nqobile, inspectors arriving there, have you been able to speak to them at all about what they're finding inside that building?
Well, Maseko, yes, we are actually joined by the spokesperson for Labour now to tell us those details. So let's just get straight right into it. We know that a lot of unions have complained about this building. Tell us a bit about what you found.
Indeed, we had received complaints from unions operating within the building, the PSA being one of them, and then how so. As Department of Employment and Labour, we then had to intervene. We have just concluded our inspections, and we are in a position to say the building, or some of parts of the building that workers are operating in needs to be prohibited. We have issued 2 prohibition notices. We have issued 2 notices. One being a prohibition notice and a contravention notice. We are prohibiting access to the basement, which is mostly the parking, and access to the ground floor, which then leads to other levels of the building. So that's where we're at this point in time, and we have just issued those 2 notices so that the employer can comply with the notices that we have just issued.
Is it just the basement where people are not allowed to enter?
Well, as I indicated, the basement, which is mostly parking, and the ground floor, which leads to the other parts of the building. So those 2 have been prohibited because we had just found out that the Occupational Health and Safety Act has been contravened, and we needed to take care of that. So that's why we had issued these notices. If the employer is given about 60 days for a contravention notice to make sure that he is taking care of the issues that have been identified, including the fire extinguishers that are not properly maintained. The poor lighting is very bad there, and we cannot really allow workers or employees to work in a dark space. We understand that there's been a cut, electricity has been cut here, so that then affects lighting. So it is on those bases that we are issuing a prohibition notice.
I mean, I imagine that this, of course, will then go to the Department itself of Education. But what happens to the people that are currently working now?
Well, as we had just issued a notice, then the employer becomes responsible, for the workers that are being affected. Ours was to do an inspection and to issue a notice, as we have done. That is our mandate, but the employer, which is the Department of Education in this case, will have to make the ends meet when it comes to workers themselves.
I know that this is not the only building you are going to be looking at. Where can we expect you next?
Indeed, we had received complaints from various government departments, especially the Education Department, but for today we are here in this former Itala building. That's why we just concluded our inspections, and possibly tomorrow we'll go to another one. And I must stress that situations or circumstances in these buildings may vary. You may find that situation in this one is more problematic than the other. So it depends on the inspection itself. Then we'll take it from there.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is, of course, Nqobile Madlala speaking to us from the Department of Labour. Maseko, as you can hear, they have now issued 2 notices, and they're expecting the Department of Education to now comply, but also to be able to speak to the people that are here to let them know what will be the way forward now.